is a MARii podcast.
Welcome to Mobility World. We are part of the Plugin with MARii network. I am Hafiz, and today with me in the studio is of course Warren Chan, who is the CEO of this very interesting app called Park Easy. Thank you very much, Warren, for being with us in this session. Really appreciate having you here. Before we delving further, I'll give you a chance to actually tell us. I know what Park Easy is, but I'll let the CEO himself to explain what is Park Easy.
Okay. Well, first of all, thanks so much for having me here today. I'm really grateful to have this opportunity. Okay, so Park Easy, right? I think the easiest way that I like to put it in terms of Park Easy, it's like a movie ticket booking app, but for parking.
All right. That's as simple as it is?
Yes. So, I mean, if you want to go to a particular location, you're really worried about what's it going to be like in order to get a car park when you arrive. You don't want to go in these circles in a carbon monoxide filled space. That's where you can use Park Easy ahead of time, book the spot, and when you arrive, there's a car park just there for you.
All right, walk us through the process. Let's say for an average user, right? They download the app, they open the app, and let's say, for example, for this purpose, let's say I'm going to Pavilion. So what do they do? Just walk us through roughly.
So actually, how about I use IY City Mall?
Sure,
because
that's
it's
fine.
Nearest to us now, right? So we're in Cyberjaya. So IY City Mall, Putrajaya, right? Let's say I want to go there. And I reckon I want to go there maybe half an hour from now.
All right.
So what I can do is I can pull out the Park Easy app. And inside the Park Easy app, I have a list of locations where I can use the service. I select IY City Mall. Once I select IY City Mall, you got to understand that I may have different people have different objectives when they go to a mall. So inside IY City Mall, we have different zones. So we have, for example, your VIP zone, we have your Tesco zone, we have your center court zone. So it really depends on what exactly it is you want to do when you get there. So let's say I want to park at the center court zone where most of the F&B outlets are. So I can select center court and I can confirm a reservation. So once I confirm a reservation, what happens is that I will receive a ticket. The ticket will say, okay, so Warren, you have bay number 2, right? And there's also like a little photo showing me the car park bay together with like the pillar and everything. And I can head towards that car park bay. And when I'm in front of bay number 2, there's this little yellow car park barrier, right? You may have seen it if you drive around. That's on the ground, right?
I've seen it.
And so there's a button in your app now which says, I'm here, so unlock my bay. And when you press that button, that yellow thing will go down and you can park your car in. So it's your very own bay.
I see. That sounds amazing, and actually, I believe it's part of your philosophy. I mean, life is too short to be spent to look for parking, right?
Man.
We are all part of this community who just go round and round and round looking for parkings. It never end. Anyways, I know it's been a tough year. And it still is actually. 2021 is looking to be as tough as 2020.
Yes.
Or perhaps even more. On the national COVID immunization program, just to segue a bit, because I think this is directly tied, because I also want to know how did Park Easy fare last year during the MCO when virtually nobody is going out, or rather people don't go out to shopping malls, etc., etc. But I think right now, I believe a few days ago, Kyrie, the minister in charge of the program, has said that the original timeline is like phase 1 is for frontliners. That is almost done. Phase 2 is for the elderly and also people who have comorbidities. But apparently the pickup rate or the registration process is not as fast. So they are bringing up a few groups forward. And I think this is, of course, I'm speculating here. I'm not part of the I'm not part of the committee. But I assume this would be the trend moving forward, because we can't wait for a certain group to be done vaccinating before vaccinating other groups. But I want to pick your brain, Warren. What do you think this would do in terms of vaccinating more people? Would do to people going out, which in turn would benefit the business?
Okay. Well, great question. So let me start off by saying how we did fare during the whole peak of COVID, I would say. So actually, I define the peak of COVID for us, at least in terms of an economic perspective, was around April of 2020.
Okay.
That's not necessarily when the number of cases were the highest,
That's
but that
the
was
MCO.
when the MCO 1.0 was in. And
The full MCO.
The full MCO, where nobody was going out whatsoever, right? We had certain locations whereby we had zero. You know, some of the malls actually had completely shut down. Yes, the F&B was operating, but it was only doing delivery.
Yes.
Right. So nobody was actually going physically to the locations. During that period, all we could do really was to just hanker down, right? So we just made sure that whatever expenses that we could kind of cut, we kind of cut that first. And I would like to say that we kind of went into a bit of a hibernation mode.
Okay.
You know, and I think that perhaps that's one of the advantages that we have as a company, whereby our business is very reliant on IoT. So those little yellow barriers, you know, I quite often think that they're like minions, you know, because they're little and they're yellow, right? And they do my job, right? So the great thing is I don't pay them. I mean, aside, I have to feed them electricity and all that sort of stuff, right? So, I mean, we had the opportunity, and so we kind of like tried to hibernate. But, you know, we also try to do things to support people going to do what we call necessities, right? Because groceries
is still a thing,
so, you know, we offered very preferential rates if you wanted to go out to buy groceries. We just limited the amount of time that you can stay out. And things got better. In fact, around August of last year, we were talking about like at most like 2-digit new cases. It was better than the year before.
Oh,
like
it was
our
even
numbers,
better.
Park Easy's numbers, our August of 2020 outperformed our August of 2019.
Which is good, considering how bad the situation is, right?
It was good for us. It was also very interesting because we operate in bigger malls and smaller malls, and we also noticed that there was a trend towards more neighborhood kind of malls. So I think people got a little bit more. They viewed the bigger malls as being maybe a crowd risk. And they're also kind of limiting their spending to more towards the essentials and necessities. So I think that's why then suddenly all of these local neighborhood malls became more popular. Ever since CMCO actually of last year, towards the end of last year, things were going down again.
Okay.
MCO 2.0 was another hit, but
which is earlier this year.
But actually coming up to like for February is a total uptrend.
Okay.
And it's an uptrend that has continued to the end of March as well. So we do see that it's actually like coming back in terms of people being confident in going out. I think the traffic that I saw coming here today is kind of testament to the fact that people are going out again. And so coming back to what you talked about in terms of the national immunization plan, right? I totally support the strategy. I mean, we have all of this stock, right, in terms of vaccines that we need to roll out. And if the sign-up rate is not so high amongst the target group, then let's open it up to people who are willing to go in there. Because at the end of the day, the way this immunization works is through herd immunity, right?
Yes.
So the more people who have the vaccine are essentially acting as a buffer between one infected person to another person, right? So I think it's a good move.
All right. We're going to talk more with Warren. After this, we take a short break. Stay tuned.
This is a MARii podcast.
Welcome back to Mobility World. I am Hafiz. With me is Warren Chan, the CEO of Park Easy, a smart parking app that you can download on your phone. And before the break, we were talking about what is Park Easy, as well as what is Warren's opinion of the national COVID immunization plan. But moving forward, we want to talk more about Park Easy. So before the break, I believe you spoke about how August 2020 numbers were actually better than August 2019. Yeah. And it's actually, it came as a shock to me because I guess, but I'm speaking it based on my personal experience, right? I don't go out as often, and even if I do, I don't have trouble finding parking spots. But now I think earlier this week I went out to get some stuff at the neighborhood mall, and it's like suddenly everything is back. Everything is like back to pre-COVID, right?
Yeah.
So I guess this is the life we're looking at. Even the Prime Minister announced that there won't be hard lockdowns. It's going to be tailored. If it's a lot of a lot of cases in red zones, that particular area is going to be closed down rather than affecting the whole country. So, looking for just enlighten me here. What does Park Easy do in terms of getting more spots, or how walk us through about how do you expand the offerings for Park Easy? Because I assume you have X amount of spaces available at X amount of malls. What do you go to all malls? Do you go to certain malls, or you just have a bigger space at one mall? How does Park Easy does things?
Okay. So in terms of how we kind of strategize where to be honest, really, we are in a lucky space right now.
All right.
Whereby we are kind of going where the market is asking us to go. So one of the things that we've been actually doing a lot in the recent 2 years, year and a half, is we've actually been going a lot into electric vehicle charging. So we have 120 plus car park bays in total, but I would think about 12, 16 of those are actually electric charging bays. What that means is that you can, in addition to reserving your car park spot, you're able to charge your car at the same time, right? And so that's kind of dictated where we've been expanding in recent times, because we kind of try and focus ourselves in locations whereby there is a demand for electrical vehicle charging. And it also depends on who is the partner that we're working with in terms of doing that electric vehicle rollout, right? So for example, we've worked in the past with Shell. We're still working with Shell. We're working with Porsche now because they brought in the all electric Taycan.
Yes.
Really nice looking car. and we work.
All their cars actually look great.
All their yeah.
I wouldn't buy any one of them. I'm sure continue.
Yeah. So we kind of right now our decisions have been based upon try to find electric vehicle spots. But even in terms of our regular non-electric car park base, very often we do expansions. So for example, one of the locations that we have expanded during the COVID period, because the response was that good, was actually a location in Bandar Sri Damansara called Artivo Plaza. So I don't know if you've heard of the standalone Uniqlo store that came up. So it's there. So basically that area. We started out with 10. And
I think their opening was like, there was like a long line despite COVID, there's like a long line, yes.
So we're like there, and we started out with 10, then with 20, then 30, and basically we just look at the numbers, right? So whenever the numbers hit a certain breaking point, then we expand another couple of bays.
Okay, so I'm going to be layman here and ask.
Sure.
The parking bays that are available through Park Easy are privately owned, I presume.
Yes.
No integration with the local council or anything?
No. So we actually have tried that in the past. There was a period in time whereby in the DBKL area, especially Bangsa, Jalan Telawi area, we had seen that there are a lot of shop lots there which had rented or sewa khas of these car park bays, right? And it's a very difficult situation for them because they pay a lot of money in order to reserve those bays. But those bays are only supposed to be reserved up until 6 p.m. every day.
Yes, after that.
Right? After 6 p.m., that palang that they have, they're supposed to put it down and they're supposed to let people park. But their problem was that, Bangsa is a really night scene kind of location, right?
Yes.
So if they didn't, if they put their palang down, 9 times out of 10, the next day, there's somebody in there, right? So you have a situation where the guy is paying a lot of money to secure this car park bay from the council on a monthly basis, but he's never actually able to use it for
utilize
his customers,
it fully,
right?
Yeah.
And so I think there was an opportunity that we saw whereby Park Easy could come in. So since a lot of these bays were left blocked in the first place, what we were suggesting is, okay, instead of using this manual palang, which has no sophistication to it, what we could do is we could come in with an electric smart controlled barrier,
Okay.
which what will happen is that after 6 o'clock, will still remain up, but now everybody can use it. So through the Park Easy app, they could use it. And what will happen is that because we have a control system, we kind of chase the person out before the next day. So by the next day, then it's no longer on the app again, and then it goes back to.
I'm curious, how does that work? How does you chase people out? I mean,
it's basically just a fee structure.
Oh,
right?
just a fee structure.
If you want to stay overnight, it's just not worth it. So you move your car, right?
I see, right.
So I mean, I think that was a solution that seemed to work. But then there's a lot of controversy around that, right? Because at the end of the day, this is only supposed to be reserved until 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth.
I mean, it's a lot about policy. I mean, local governments comes in. Yes, I know it's a hassle. But I remember, I think last year I've had a sit down interview with Jom Parking. CEO, and I also asked him about this particular question because I feel, I mean, of course, I mean, malls are one thing. It's good to have that, but I think the big market, or rather the large share of it, is actually the local governments. Your DBKL, Penang, Seberang Perai, Johor Bahru, you know. So if there is a way to integrate it all, I mean, into one system, would you be open to it? Of course, I mean, we're talking hypothesis here. Would you be open to it of integrating Park Easy into a national local government kind of smart app?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, so first of all, Park Easy, we don't do street parking. That's really John Parking's thing. And if you would ask me the question, would I love to use John Parking across the country? Yes, definitely. I think they have a very good user interface and I like the experience.
But John Parking is more of you use. I mean, you have to find a spot, and then you pay.
Yes, it's a different model.
Yeah, it's good, but Park Easy like makes it another step.
We're like a premium kind of experience.
So that you can because you're right. Life is too short to be spent on parking, and we've spent so much of our time just looking for parking. If there's a way to just like streamline everything, I'm sure less haphazard parking will be around. You know, those kind of stuff. So okay, moving forward, I do want to know what is Park Easy's next step. I mean, it's been a tough 2020, 2021 is looking to be tough as well. Where's your head at as the CEO of Park Easy? What's the next thing for Park Easy?
Well, we have, I would say there's a short, medium and long-term view, right? Short-term view really is about survival. I won't paint it in any other words.
Yes.
I think this has been a very difficult time for all companies. And we are very fortunate to still be here. And I would like to continue to be here. So I'm trying my best to just like focus on revenues, turning up revenues and keeping costs down low. So that's short-term, just business as usual, look at survival, right? In terms of medium term, what we're seeing is that Park Easy is in a very unique position in terms of a sticky app.
Okay,
what I mean by that is that you think about the apps that you have in your phone, right? And there's basically two things that determine whether or not you will reinstall it when you move to a new phone, right? Number one is in terms of the frequency of use. How often do you actually use it, right? And the second thing actually comes down to how unique is it? Like, is it offering a service which I can't get somewhere else? Right? So let me give you an example here. So let's talk about frequency of use, right? I like to travel every once in a while. Airbnb, Agoda, Booking.com.
That's always there.
No, I only install it for my trip.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, all right. I don't travel enough, maybe put it that way.
I guess. I mean, now it's COVID. So.
Oh yeah, well now it's COVID. I don't even have the phone. I don't even have the app in my phone, right?
All right.
So it's really a question of frequency. It's great apps. It's a great service, right? But it's just, I don't want it on my phone all the time, right? So then you have another example, which is in terms of a unique service, right? So I was looking at a particular brand recently, and the brand has a brand app. And when I open up the brand app, what does it show me? It just shows all the locations where the brand is located.
Okay.
Right? And that's not very unique because I can just go up to Google Maps and I can just type in that brand name and it'll just show me all the stores. So there's really no reason for me to use that particular app, right? Okay. So that's where I say that being able to offer a unique service, number one, and being able to offer a frequently used service, number two, is very important for that stickiness. So when you think about Park Easy, we are really that, right? We are the only people out there offering you the ability to book your car park. We always say we're the number one car park reservation app for that reason.
How many are there out there?
Number one. And on top of that, we are a frequently used item. I think when I mentioned Ativo Plaza earlier, that's a location which has a good mix of office workers as well as people who like to do their grocery shopping. So we see people coming on a regular basis. Even like Sunway Medical, we know a lot of doctors use our car parks because our car parks there are electric vehicle charging. So a lot of them like to charge their vehicle there. So Park Easy has this particular opportunity, right, of being a sticky app. And we are in that section of the, I would say, car ownership market, which is high volume, low ticket value, right? But there's an opportunity to go in the other direction, which is lower volume, but higher ticket, right? So you talk about, roadside assistance, you talk about car servicing, you talk about car washing, you talk about your road tax renewal, all those sort of things. Now, Park Easy, we don't plan ourselves to go into that because that is a business on its own. But we see Park Easy as now being able to act as a platform. Because I know that all of my 50,000 plus registered users are all drivers. And so I'm trying to think now, how do I add value to my customers by being able to move up that chain and offering them more value? So that's the medium term, kind of deepening our relationship. And then in the long term, I really see there's two very big trends that everyone is familiar with when it comes to the future of cars.
Okay.
First is electric.
All right.
Okay. E-mobility is a huge thing. I think at some point, it's not going to be a question of, do I want to get an electric car? It's going to be, that's the only option I have.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of the big brands have already said that they're committed to going to an all-electric fleet. There are some countries which say that they want to have all-electric cars by a certain time and so on and so forth, right? That's the first trend. Second trend is self-driving cars.
Autonomous.
Right? Autonomous vehicles. And this is where I often get the question, hey, look, your job is parking. If the car can drive by itself, why do you need parking? So this is where I think these two trends put together is where Park Easy sits in a very good position. Because if all of the cars are going to be electric and all the cars are going to be self-driving, they're still going to need to charge somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? And so this is where Park Easy, I mean, I said long term, right? So I'm saying like 10 years.
10, 15, 20.
10, 15 years from now. You're going to have a situation whereby where there's going to be, let's say, a self-driving Grab picks you up, picks up Hafiz, sends Hafiz to IOI City Mall. And after it's going to say, hey, where's my nearest charge point? And it's not even going to be the car talking to like an operator. It's just going to be the car talking to our Park Easy server. And our Park Easy server is going to say, this is the nearest point, go in and charge your car.
Some sort of algorithm.
Yeah, like a machine-to-machine communication, right? To optimize the best charging stop. Yeah.
That sounds very interesting, actually, Warren. Looking forward to actually catching up with you soon to hear about all these developments.
Yeah.
That's all the time we have for this session. Thank you so much, Warren, for being with me in this session of Mobility World. All the best to you. All the best to Park Easy. And I guess if you miss any part of this conversation, you can always plug in with MARii. It's available on all our podcast apps, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. So stay safe and see you again in another session. Bye-bye.
This is a MARii podcast.